What made you choose to become a metalsmith?
My interest in the material, and I think it's that simple. I guess I was exposed to it. I am a alumni of UW La Crosse, so I originally came here to wrestle, and I declared an art major just because it was the only class I liked in high school, and took a metals class, and I was never exposed to that previously to coming here. So I understood that people wore jewelry, but it never dawned on me that it was actually this art form, this craft that people actually hands-on made. So I was hooked immediately, and just fell in love with it. Started taking more classes, got really serious about it. Ended up quitting wrestling just to develop a portfolio that was worthy of graduate school, and that was my direction. So yeah, it was just simply interest.
Who inspires you to do your work?
You mean like other artists? I think there's a number of influences or inspiration that my work comes from. I don't stick with one type of thing too long or one process too long, and I guess I have a wide range of interests. So early on it was Albert Paley, who is one of the biggest sculptors right now in the country. He started out as a jeweler back in the late 60s, early 70s. Had a very unique approach to doing that. Then he got into blacksmithing, then he got into sculpture, and now he's making monumental sculpture. Some of these things are like 70 feet tall. So that, and he's still an influence, but it's not just other artists that influence me. Pop culture has been a huge influence in my life. So, Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, Star Wars, things like that have really kind of shaped my work in a weird way.
Identify one obstacle that you've had to overcome.
Monetary inconsistencies. I think that would be a good thing. As a studio artist, it's like I was making a living right out of grad school. Being a studio artist, I did have supplemental incomes, part-time jobs and things in there as well. Some years were great where all I did was just work in my studio, and then the next year it's like, oh, where'd all the work go? And as my family grew, and mortgages, car payments, children need to eat, so then you really had to kind of reevaluate things. But I think that's always been a big obstacle, is having the funds.
How does storytelling manifest itself in your work?
I think it depends. It depends on the work that I'm producing at the time. I am in a kind of craft-based medium, so there is a tradition that's really rich in what I do. So sometimes it's storytelling is non-existent in a certain type of work. Sometimes the work is strictly about the physical form in its relationship to space. So and there's this visual language that's actually really sophisticated. And then other times storytelling is like very important. And some of my work is based on these narratives, and that kind of goes back to the other question about influences, like the pop culture thing. I did a whole series of work that can be seen on my website, bradnicholsmetal.com. Yeah. So, but they're influenced by my parental experiences. I have a series of work that I started out doing sketches with my children, and you get done and you're like, wow, that would look really, really great in steel. And then it's like, well, how do I do that?
How did you end up at UW La Crosse?
Well, I'm originally from Gillsville. I don't know if you know where that is, 30 miles north of here. So, so like I said, I did my undergraduate work here, and then I got a master's degree at Cranbrook Academy of Art. And my wife was my high school sweetheart, so she moved to Michigan with me, and it's a suburb of Detroit, and she was not, keen on that, that area, and really got homesick. So after we finished up, she just said, we need to, I want to go home. So we moved back here without any, big plans, and, so I started, a blacksmith shop in Gillsville, and then a adjunct teaching position came up to teach art preach, and I applied for that, and then really realized that I really like teaching. I really enjoy the students, and really love BWL, and luckily, the person that was in this position, Bill Fiorini, who was actually my mentor at the time, retired, and so, opening happened, and I luckily applied and got the position. So, yeah, I don't know if it's fate or luck or what, but that's how I ended up here. It's just.
What advice would you give to a young aspiring metalsmith?
I mean, a few things. One is just to stay active, and persevere, because as soon as you graduate, if you don't get that dream job or you have to do something else for a while, it's like you got to stay active and keep building your skills and just get better and better. And there's a number of ways to do that. It's like nice thing about this field is you can do a lot of work with very minimal equipment and my personal shop is really minimal. I don't have a lot of fancy tools. I'm able to make a lot of the tools I need. But yeah, it's like I keep it pretty simple. But yeah, to stay active, persevere, network, meet as many people in this field as you can, because it is a small field, and getting to know people is really helpful. So.
What is a random fact that most people don't know about you?
I'm kind of a boring person, I think. It's like I'm either here or I'm with my family. I'm in the studio. I do like martial arts.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for a while. I haven't been doing it lately because I've been pretty busy. But during the breaks, that's when I usually get back at it. So.
Yeah.